All right, Leo, are you here? Are you SI?
VPRA Alexander, SI will be student interns.
Gotcha. Okay, just trying to figure out that. All right. All right. Then is there anybody to wants to volunteer to take minutes? And I'll give you privileges to it. Can we have our region 10 intern take minutes?
I can take minutes.
All right, let me.
Michaela, taken minutes before, Michaela?
I have at our ASG meetings on campus. I'm assuming they're similar.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So VPRA Alexander, you can share that with the intern. It's just going to be SI region X at SSCCC.org. But also share it with me because I can help.
Okay.
Just as a quick comment, my Otter AI keeps connecting and I don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah, I was actually going to disconnect them here in a second. I'm trying to remember how to do it. I noticed there was 2 of them up, so I'll block them out. Okay, so I sent it to both of you. I sent the minutes, so just make a copy of it, and then you can just use it as, or I sent you a copy of the agenda for editing privileges. So just make a copy of it, and you can utilize it as for minutes. And all right, make sure everybody has their cameras on for the purpose of a quorum. And
Real quick, VPRA, Michaela, if you can make a copy and then share that link with me, and then I'll share it with VPRA Alexander afterwards.
Okay, I'm sharing it right now to you.
VPRA Alexander, if you wouldn't mind, will you just make me co-host and I can do like the monitoring of the like otter pilots and
yeah,
cameras on and stuff. You just click those 3 dots in the top corner of my screen of my what's it called? It'll say make co-host.
gotcha. That's how you do the otters too, don't you? Reject them out.
You just click.
Yeah, remove. Gotcha. That's what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to remember. I've done it only a couple times.
Hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday.
Yes. All right. Oh, Diami, were you going to be able to do minutes?
Yeah, hey, I was just can you send me the ability to edit the file?
Yeah.
I can go ahead and do minutes unless of course anyone else would like to do them. That's okay too.
I know the intern had volunteered because I tried to get you to answer.
Oh, okay, then let's just go ahead and do that. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why I was just having audio problems and it just turned out being my Zoom that I had to change the settings. Okay. But if the intern volunteer, yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Share screen. Oh man, I got a cat that just doesn't want to leave me alone.
what's it called? Director Reese Martinez, I'll share the file with you. I'm going to be watching the minutes also, but if there's anything that you'd like to put in there, just you can, I'll give you editing access also.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stephen.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:38. We will go ahead and do roll call. And Dami, if you would, when I call the names of the person, make sure that their cameras are on. Could you verify that?
Yeah.
For quorum purposes. And I'll just
Yeah, I'll
ask
go
you
ahead.
every so often, just kind of monitor that, and then just kind of let me know if somebody turns their camera off for more than about a minute or two. I'm okay if they turn it off for a minute or so, but after beyond that, then kind of let me know.
Okay, will do.
All right. So with that said, I am present, the chair, VPRA.
Chair, quick question. I apologize. So if we do need a point of personal privilege, would we then state that and then turn off our camera until we come back and then state that we have returned?
Okay. If you're only planning to be gone for about a minute or two, I don't have a problem. If you turn your camera off briefly and you leave for about a minute or two, just send me like a private message in the chat saying, I need a, personal privilege. If it's going to be anything further than that, you can just kind of like raise your hand and then we'll just address it then. So,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. All right. So with that said, Robert Alexander, I am present. Committee Vice Chair, Region 9.
Present.
All right. Region 1, Lisa Baker. All right. We'll come back to 1.
I'm here, but I'm gonna have to call in absent today because I couldn't be at my location as reported.
Okay, so are you just going to? You can be a part of discussion. You just won't be allowed to vote.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right. So with that said, just make the notes that she's not able to call in for her location, so she's just going to be part of discussion only for the records. All right. Region 2. Region 2. All right, we'll go back to them. All right. Region 3.
Present.
All right. Region 4.
Present.
All right. Region 5.
I'm Vice Chair Region 5, and I'll be filling in for Josh today.
Okay, so for the record, if we could reflect that Region 5 is present, but the Vice Chair. Could you state your name so they have it?
Michael Rodriguez.
All right, thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
real quick, will Michael be at the location that what's it called? That Brad Simon put on the agenda? If not, he could still be a part of discussion, but wouldn't be able to vote. He has to be at one of the locations that are on the agenda.
Okay, so I'll scroll through this really quick. If you want to look and see if you're out, actually, you look like at your house. If I look in the background, you see a bunk bed. I'm assuming you're not at one of the community colleges. These are the 2 addresses right here. I'm assuming that you're not at one of these addresses. The other ones are colleges.
No, I am not.
Okay. So you'll be welcome to be part of discussion, but you won't be able to be considered part of voting. So, all right. That said, just for the record, though, to make notes just for the minutes to show that he did appear in the meeting. All right. So that was 5. Region 6.
Present.
All right. Region 7.
Present.
Region 8.
Present.
All right. Region 10. All right. Now we will go back to Region 2. Region 2, are you present? Let me double check the chat. See if there's some kind of technical issues. Michael, the person taking minutes asked to spell your name. If you could just type that in the chat. All right. Region 2. All right. Marking Region 2 absent. Region 9. Or sorry, Region 10. Are you present? All right. We'll go ahead and move on. All right. Is there anybody who needs accommodations under AB 22449?
So, Chair,
Yes.
Just so that everyone knows, we wouldn't be able to do 2449 because we do not have a quorum in one location. And in order to do 2449, you need a quorum in one location. Everyone's just doing this from different locations.
Gotcha. All right. All right, adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Route 6 to adopt the agenda.
All right, Region 6. Is there a second?
We're at 7. A second.
All right. Everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, seeing none, agenda is so adopted. Everybody in favor of adopting the minutes from August 25th. Is there any objections? All right, seeing none. Minutes from August 25th, 2023 have been adopted. Public comment. This segment of the meeting is reserved for persons desiring to address the Regional Affairs Committee on any matter of concern that is not stated on the agenda. A limit of 3 minutes per speaker, 15 minutes per topic shall be observed. The law does not permit any action to be taken nor extended discussion of any items not on the agenda. Regional Affairs Committee may briefly respond on statements based or questions posed. However, further information, please see the law does not permit any action to be taken nor extension of discussion on the items on the agenda. The Regional Affairs Committee may briefly respond to statements or questions posed. However, further information, please contact myself. My information is there to request items of discussion on the agenda. California Government Code 54954.3. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak? I see a hand raised, Dan O.
Yes, Chair. Can you hear me?
You're kind of low volume. I can hear you, but I can see that maybe some people can't.
How about now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, great. Am I recognized, Chair?
Yes, you are recognized.
Thank you. I just wanted to say hello to everybody at the Regional Affairs Committee. My name is Daniel. I'm a community college student here in California, and I'm triple majoring in computer science, security network, and broadcasting. So I have a really interesting background, and I'm excited to see what this year's representatives will be doing and having on their agenda. And my purpose at these meetings are to take careful notes and to communicate the actions of our representatives and how we're advancing the mission of SSCCC and how it could relate to students on the ground. And yeah, if you have any questions or you want to reach out and talk to me, send me an email, give me a call, and don't be surprised if I send you an email or give you a call, because it's part of my education to get more effective at using these types of electronic tools to enhance communications. And glad to be here. Thanks a lot.
If you want to share your contact information in the chat, if anybody wants to wanting to share that with everybody, but I know you mentioned the contact you.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you, Robert.
No problem. Anybody else from the public that would like to be recognized? All right, seeing none. Minute taker. I noticed that Region 10 had arrived roughly about 5:41. So if we want to recognize that Leo from the RAD from 10, let's hear it 5:49. All right. Now we will go to standing orders. I'm going to go ahead and come back around because we have a pretty big agenda, and we'll do roundtable if we have time around to it. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the orders of A and B for now. We'll get back to those if we have time to it. With that said, we're going to go to new business. We'll go ahead and go to A first. And Stephen, you have the floor. And I'm going to kind of be a little bit lenient with time, but since we are cutting off at 7 tonight, I might we'll give you kind of a little bit of a warning.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, VPRA Alexander. So I have the floor.
Yes, you have the floor.
All right, awesome. So hello everyone, great to see you all. I wanted to go over, I've been reached out to, and VPRA has been reached out to on a bunch of questions. So that's why there's a couple of these items up here for you. Wanted to go through special elections, your agendas, what to put on there, and then some consolidation of some documents that we have. So the first one is our special elections. I've been recommending to RADs recently that we have the processes in place. If you have not seen online, you can go onto our SSCCC website under our documents and find the board policy on how to run your special elections. It is a step-by-step process. I wanted to hear questions from you all on, does the process make sense? Would it help if I gave you step-by-step instructions, like an infographic that you can kind of walk through when you're doing your special election? Some of the things that you need to know is, if you are doing a special election, you need to have 7 business days notice to the public. One of the ways that you can do the notice, I'm going to start screen sharing, Robert, so just so you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If you go into, these are the minutes, you can see, your documents, you can click new under Google Docs from a template. I have a special elections notice. It's a special election template. All you do is go in, fill out the highlighted sections, and then send this to Deja. All right. This is what they will post for the special election. That way you do not have to get your agenda out 7 business days in advance. You still need to get your agenda out, though, that 96 hours for staff. So that still needs to be the case. But what you do need to do is have this election 7 days in advance. All right. So once you do this, now you can hold your elections, send out the agenda, make sure you don't forget, set yourself in a reminder to get it to us 96 hours in advance, and then you can hold your special elections per the administrative policy. And it's, I'll show you how to get to it. SSCCC under documents, bylaws, and policies, go under the board resource policies and procedures binder. You will see region election procedure. Scroll down. This is your regular elections, but we are going to be doing special elections. That's everything that is outside of the General Assembly. This is your step-by-step process. But if you think that this is too hard and daunting, it doesn't make sense to you, I can give you a step-by-step process that might look a little bit easier, but I'd love to hear from you all. So Chair, I think that's really all I wanted to clarify for everyone, make sure that they knew. 1, you have to get out a special election notice. 2, the process is right here and it explains it to them, but I'd love to hear some questions.
Okay, open up to the floor for questions. We've got 4 minutes still left on this item. Is there any questions on the floor?
I see RAD 7, Chair.
All right, RAD 7.
Thank you. Would you recommend a single item agenda for a special election?
Yes. Oh, wait, are you saying just have the special election on your agenda? Just that it?
Just the special election.
I would say you would put as many items as you want, just have a special election as one of the items. And you don't have to do a different item for each of the positions. It's just special elections, and then you can say that the region 7 will have a special election for all vacant positions, and then that way you can cover them all.
Under what item, what area would you then put the special election under?
Yeah, you would put it under your business, because this is a business. Make sure it says action. You would also hyperlink any. One of the things that I want you to make sure you take notice of is, in the special election, it asks you to put a date for when they should be turning in candidate statements. right? Because you want to give them, you're sending this out 7 business days in advance, give them a couple days to turn in candidate statements and have that be before you do your agenda. So you can hyperlink all of those candidate statements to the agenda. So the, what's it called? So that your delegates will be able to, see the candidate statement before those people are, brought to that meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we have 2 other people. Rad 8, you were up first, so go ahead. You have the floor.
The delegate has to nominate the candidate, correct?
Yes. So delegates can self-nominate themselves, but it would need a second. Or a delegate can nominate anybody. They can nominate another delegate. They can nominate another student from a different campus, whatever it is. Now, a student can say, hey, I'm interested in running during the election process. Then you would just need, okay, is there any delegate that would like to nominate this person for this position?
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Keep in mind, with that said, if they nominate themselves and they get elected, they can no longer serve as a delegate.
Yes.
An executive officer. So you might want to let them know that too when you're they're running, so that doesn't leave a dilemma for their school. All right, and we will go to region 9.
Yeah, just really quick. So you mentioned that, like, in the case that we have a member from the public and no one else decides to go ahead and run, would we be able as RADs just be able to recommend to the delegate assembly to maybe have a delegate nominate that individual?
Yes.
Okay,
You would
awesome.
say, so someone from the public says, hey, I'm interested in running for this position. Then you would say, okay, all right, at this time, our policy says that delegates need to nominate individuals. Is there any delegate that would like to nominate this person? You can also say, like, hey, doesn't look like anyone really wants to do this right now. We can bring this item back next month and do another special election, right? You don't have to hastily get in. And I know some of the RADs actually are doing their September meeting without a special election because they're just going to introduce the positions to the delegates. That way it gives them a whole month before our next meeting, because everyone has a rad and lad, and that's really the main 2 positions on your board that you need to help function for that region. And the other ones, maybe you can get a better candidate by giving the process a little bit longer and sending it into October. So it's up to you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually kind of came to that conclusion and decided to just announce it for my first delegate assembly and then next one hold the actual election. So just as a follow-up question. So once they get elected, I know that they still need to be verified. So when can we actually have them, step into the role?
So after, I think, where's it at in here?
Well, they have to finish doing their verification process.
Yeah, I want to say they need to get submitted to Dr. Adams within 3 days, I believe. I can't remember where it's at. Actually, I think it's on the other policy. That's regional election board policy.
Because I believe the executive officers, you have to be completely verified, as well as you have to complete like the Brown Act training certificate and stuff before, unless something's changed in this last 6 months.
So I where is it at? Pertaining to elections. I'll find it and I'll send it out to you, Rads. But usually you have 3 days in order to get verified with Dr. Adams, and once that's done, Dr. Adams will send you an email that says, hey, your person's verified. They're ready to step into their role.
Okay, then. So to get them verified, we would just then, when we send in the minutes, go ahead and also just include it in the email that this individual won the election for this position?
Yes, so you send that to Dr. Adams, and I would CC the individual themselves so they know, and you just say, hey,
Yeah.
Dr. Adams, this is so-and-so, they won the election, here's the minutes, can you please follow through with the verification process? Dr. Adams will then send a verification form to their advisor. Even if they're not a student of the student government, they will send it to like a counselor or something like that to verify that they are a student with, that meets the qualifications of 76060. And then Dr. Adams will get that information back and then send you an email. Yes, they're verified, and we'll go from there. Because they can
Got it.
step into their role while they're doing, I think we have like an ethics training and stuff like that. So they can
Mhm.
still do that.
Got it. Awesome. All right, thanks. And with that, I see that
Yeah,
David
Brett,
Ortez also has
Yeah.
his hand up.
I will recognize Region 4, and then after him, if we want to discuss this further, we are going to need to extend time. So Brad 4, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. I just had a quick question for clarification. So a non-student or a non-SSCCC student can run for a position, and let's say we announce elections at our first DA, have elections in the second DA. Can that non-SSCCC student submit a statement as well?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, and if they go through the candidate statement, I believe they don't need to be nominated by a delegate because they went through the process of submitting an application, quote unquote, right? They're submitting their delegate statement. So that is then forwarded to the delegate assembly at the nomination. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyone beforehand can submit that because we verify them beforehand. So we already like once they get elected, they can pretty much just take their role. So I recommend doing the candidate statement because that is just an automatic in, and now the delegates know who you are and everything like that.
Okay, with that said, time has expired on this item unless somebody wants to extend time as discussion. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to B, which is share my screen real quick. All right, B, putting together a regional agenda. The Regional Affairs Committee will discuss putting together regional agendas so they're more effective. Stephen, you have the floor.
Awesome. Thank you, VPRA.
Take over the screen as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take over again. Actually, let me put it on this one. Awesome. Can everyone see that? Does it show? Okay. So we have a template for your regional agendas. If you click new, go to Google Docs, from a template, there is a regional agenda template. And I would recommend that you use this template because it follows our branding, everything like that. Everything's updated, and you just go through and change all of the highlighted information, obviously at the top. What this should be the way that you do it. I've seen some agendas come forward that didn't follow the template. We have to send it back because we're trying to do that consistent branding all the way across. I wanted just to make sure that you all knew what's it called, that this existed and you can get through this. Some of the agenda items you should be putting on your agenda for this first month. One would be Advocacy Academy. I would definitely put that on your agenda, make that one of the items. You can walk them through the website and how they can get registered. We want to make sure that registration for that is getting picked up. The SBAs are allocating funds and knowing about the conference in general. The other one would be the legislative stories. If you go into, even if you just go into your drive and click legislative stories, flyer, it comes up right here. We want to hear from you, share your college experience. I also sent that out in an email to you earlier on in the week. This is something that we're really trying to get students more involved with. In some of your student interns, those of you that have student interns in your region have shared this with like college presidents and stuff. At my trainings that I'm doing and I'm involving you all in, if I go to a training, I print some of these out and give them to the colleges, and they've been putting it up around their campuses. So that's another thing that you'd want to put on your agenda. And then the other one, where's the list? I wanted to make sure that you all know AB 2449 is one of the agenda items that is on here. It's usually a standing item. You will not, as I said earlier, probably not use 2449 all that often because you need a quorum in one location. So unless you get your colleges to show up at your main location, you're not going to be using 2449. All right, and make sure your delegates know that, so that way we can, mitigate any of those problems. And I think that was it that I wanted to share with you all, making sure that you have that. Oh, for the Advocacy Academy, part of what I need you to do is your region officer should be attending. So either do that during the or during your delegate assembly or during your executive officer. You have budgeting in your budget for them to attend. So we need to get them to start filling it out. I'm going to drop a link in the chat in a little bit. There's a Google form that Deja had sent out for region officers to start securing their travel, their hotel rooms, and all of that stuff, because they come the day earlier for the region summit. And if you want a good, effective region summit, we got to make sure that your region officers are going to be there, right? So make sure that that's happening. What else? So put it on your region agenda. Work as a team. Make sure that all of your officers are getting out there to your colleges to make sure that they know of Advocacy Academy and get the SBA info. All right. Questions?
I don't see any hands. Does anybody have anything? Comments? Questions?
Your colleges go to your region meetings to hear what's happening at the statewide level. So I would encourage you to agendize some of the things that you've learned at the board meetings, right? Some of those items should be placed on there. Hey, just so you know, we're thinking about doing this, or we received a presentation. I want to give you more info on what it is, whatever it was from the chancellor's office or from other organizations that come to present to us. So I would recommend you do that also.
Okay. Any questions? We got something here. Rules regarding quorum, traditional Brown Act. Okay, Danny O. Traditional Brown Act teleconferencing requirements, AB 361, AB 2449, during teleconferences of meetings, at least quorum of members of the local public agency body must participate from locations within the boundaries of the territory over the local public agency bodies exercise jurisdiction. That's pretty much just saying, like, you guys can't be like, for example, like you guys are region 10 and you're in region 9, majority of people are, broadcasting from region 9.
Sure.
Yes.
Can I clarify? So that's actually not the case. So what it is our organization is the statewide student senate. We just break you up into regions. You are not a separate organization. So just as long as you are in the confines of California itself, you fall into the traditional Brown Act requirements. AB 361 was an assembly bill that changed Brown Act to allow for, during emergencies, a state of emergency by the governor, you didn't have to use what's it called? You didn't have to post your location on the agenda. So you could just zoom in and not have to do anything. We're not in a state of emergency right now, so you cannot do that. AB 2449 is the only one that says that you have to have a quorum in one location in order for someone to participate via Zoom and not give up their location. You can have, like right now, everybody, participate via Zoom just as long as they are posting their locations, and all of these locations are accessible to the public. So.
Any questions?
And just to clarify the other comment, if we needed to get into that, the board policies are just that. They're board policies. Policies and procedures belong to the board. The only thing that needs to go to the delegate assembly is bylaws revisions and constitutional changes, which is something that we are not doing. Imagine having to go to the General Assembly just to change all of your board policies. That would just be ridiculous. So that's how it functions. VPRA, you do have a hand with Rad 9.
All right, go ahead, Red 9.
All right, yeah, just a quick question regarding this. So is the template, you guys know the one that when they're gonna hold a meeting, they send out that email that has that nice kind of template that states notice is hereby given to hold a meeting. Is that template also on the Google Drive?
No. So you're talking about the email that gets sent out?
Yeah.
So that's part of our action network. Let me share that real quick. So when I go into Action Network and I do an email, and I want to do an email, I can choose. So this is built-in wallpaper. So this is what we end up doing. We just drop in this layout that has like the thing on the bottom, and all we do is we take from your email, or I mean from your agenda, we just clip the top and drop it straight into here, and then it just has a nice fancy footer. That's all it does.
Oh, okay. So do we have access to this to the ActionNet account, or do we have to send it to you guys?
Yeah, Action Network is done by staff. This is how we send out all of this. It's the listserv. That's all it is. So what you do have is I don't know why I just got sent out. You would be able to add people to your what's it called? To your listserv, but you don't have the authority to send out agendas through there because we have to screen them for Brown Act and everything like that, compliance. So that's why we check that and then we send it out through here. But if you have anything that needs to go out to the listserv, you just send it to us and we would shoot it out.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep, no problem.
All right, and check really quick. There's something in the chat. Okay, no, it's not one of our members, so I'm not gonna acknowledge that. All right, any questions? All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on then. All right. See, Stephen again, this is document efficiency consolidation. The Region Affairs Committee will discuss document efficiency and consolidation. Stephen, you have the floor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chair. So I would love to so I was thinking the other day, you have a bunch of documents that we all have to like look at in order to like, there's one document that tracks our delegates. There's one document that has like the matrix that has like SBA information and all that kind of stuff. There's another document. We have to go through all of our emails to see like, when are we tracking, when we contacted colleges, things like that. So I was working with the interns and I was like, you know what, like, let's put all of those documents together for our RADs. I think it would be more efficient. So what we did, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you all. Okay. So if you go to your Google Drive again, oops, that's the wrong one. And I'm going to put this in your, oh shoot, this is my CSU Chico. So here's the student interns folder. We're going to have the region matrix. So all of you will have your own folder here. So like if you went into 10, now there's a key. Hold on, let me make this bigger. So has the colleges, do we have the SBA president's information? Do we have their meeting info? Do we have a delegate for those colleges? Have we visited their campus? Each of these tabs now, here's all of that SBA info that we had on the other form. Here's the delegate verification as it's going by right now. Like Miracosta, we do have, luckily enough for Region 10, the student intern is from Miracosta. So we have a delegate. They're just waiting on their W-9 to fill it out. And then we're going to have an outreach tracker. So I want them to track their emails, and you can also track so we can see, hey, we've already contacted this college twice this week. Why are we going to do it again? I know some of you rads have seen, and I've seen it in a couple of the regions. You gotta, there was like 2 or 3 emails that came this last week where the advisors were kind of sarcastic, but they were like, hey, that's a lot of emails. So that's what we don't want to see. So we want to make sure that, hey, let's track everybody together, what kind of outreach we're doing for each of these colleges, so we don't run into that where the advisor's like, dude, like slow down, right? But we're hoping that this would give you more information and you don't have to go to all of your different documents to try and find that. What are we thinking? Better? Does this help? Chair, I think we have Region 6.
Yes, sorry, I realized I was muted. Region 6.
Hi, I just want to clarify that I'm a lad. Is it okay if I speak still, Chair?
Oh,
Chair, that's it. It would be up to you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't see any harm to it.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I just had a question. Since oh, sorry, my brain froze. For like the tracking, I was just curious, should like any outreach to campuses be tracked, including like lads were supposed to be really emphasizing like registering for Advocacy Academy? Should that be tracked as well? Or is it just like specifically like verifying delegates and like visiting the campus itself?
So, Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would recommend that this be utilized within your region officers for all of that. Because if the RAD sends an email about verification and then you send one about Advocacy Academy, and then the intern sends one because they need meeting info, like we don't want to do that. Like, why can't we just all work together to get that same information? So this way, hey, there's a tracker going. This person already reached out. Hey, can you add this to your email? Or hey, are you talking with them? Can you ask for this information also? So that way we're not bombarding them from all different sides. I'm hoping that this will help streamline that process.
All right, and then we have Region 7.
Thank you. So is this something that we're gonna have access to now and
Yep.
pretty much managed by the RAD so that we can pretty much say, okay, this is where we wanna touch base instead of having everybody just like start doing their own thing within the region? 'Cause I know that I think that's been a discussion that's come up in the past where somebody's already trying to send out, and I mean, they have good intentions, but it's like, okay, we're already in discussions. Let's not over bombard them. Correct?
Yeah, for sure. I will send this to you in an email right when this meeting ends, so you'll all have the access. I'm going to send you the student interns folder because you get access to all of it. And if you like to put it somewhere else, I definitely can. But it's student interns is under operations, so that's where all of our documentation and stuff goes. So. Oh, I didn't do that right. So I'll send you the link to all of these folders, and you'll have them all.
Thank you very much.
Yep. And I would share it with your regional officers, maybe put this as an agenda item on your next exec meeting so they can see it. But this is all the stuff that you will have access for. Your region interns, when they go to committees, they fill out reports. When they have a list of target schools based off of the last 2 years, I've been tracking which ones of your colleges were present and in attendance. So some of them, the target schools are the ones that haven't been involved with us for like 0 to like 25% of the last 2 years. All those marketing materials, I sent you this folder the other day. Presentations, this is where you have your intro to SSCCC presentations if you're going to go and give one to an SBA. All of your constitution and bylaws are in here. There's an events list where the interns are continually updating events. They're also putting it onto the region calendar. So you should have access to the calendar and be able to add things to your region calendar. So I would definitely utilize that and get that out to all of your region officers. If they attend an SBA meeting, they will put that in a report for you. So Region 10 just came on the other day. Let's go Region 2. I think she went to American River the other day. Yeah. So I gave them a template. They need to fill this out so you can see what did they do at those meetings, right? Like they gave a presentation. These were the topics that were discussed during that meeting. So anytime they attend a SBA meeting, they will fill out this report and it will go into that folder. So you have access to all of those also. And then you also have access, if they go on, they're going to do sign-in sheets. So you can see these are all sign-in sheets from different events that they've done over the past couple, couple weeks. So those are all in there too and has students' information. You will not have access to their timesheets. That is restricted. So even if you get into this folder, that folder will not show up. And then this goes into here. But yeah, we're also doing a document right now, SBA FAQs. Students are like the interns have been going into student government meetings and they ask questions. So I want to know what those questions are so I can give them answers. So they'll have a sheet. So you can use this also. Take the FAQs with you just in case your student government asks a question that you don't know how to answer. It might be in this document already. But yeah, I think that's about it. VPRA, I think we have one more time.
Yeah, there's Rep 4. You are recognized.
Oh, sorry about that. So I'm just curious. So what's the difference between the regional matrix and the master matrix?
Yeah, so what I did is I just took all of that information and put it into one spot for you. So we had the SBA master matrix, then you had your college tracker that did the delegate tracking. Then we have all our emails where we're like tracking, our correspondence with all the colleges. All I did is consolidated that into one form for you with multiple tabs. So I'm hoping that instead of having to go and grab all these different places, like go to one form just to grab the delegates information, then go to another form to go grab the student body president's information, it's all together in one form. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions?
And I think, Michaela, if you can mark that Region 2 is present.
Yes, and I got her saying in the chat like 6:19, so I'm assuming that's when she arrived. So we'll just show her up at 6:19.
And I know she was at the DEIA conference. So.
Oh, so it was okay. So make sure for the records that it shows it was on official SSCCC business. All right, and we'll go to our next item. Give me a second. Oh, where did my agenda go? All right, we'll go ahead and move to D, inactive problem colleges, how to effectively use interns. And then an update on the interns, just in case anybody had questions, I kind of threw that little clause in there too, because I figured that might have some questions in regards to that. So the Regional Affairs Committee will discuss interns, an update will be given, and how to activate colleges.
Awesome, Chair, and I think you have a question to start off before the presentation.
All right, Region 4.
Yes, my apologies. I'm not sure if this is a point of order. When I received the meeting announcement for the Regional Affairs Committee, I clicked on the link that says Regional Affairs Committee Google Drive, and the link to the drive to the September 22nd meeting is for 2022. So I'm looking at a completely different agenda. Is there any way someone can send me the link for this one?
Yeah, I could do that.
Sorry about that.
I will do it in Let's see, I can put it in the chat. It's probably easiest. Will the chat work for you?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
All right. And while you're doing that, BPRA, I'm going to keep going. So just wanted to talk to each of you. I would like to get a list started of your problem colleges. What are those colleges that you are unable to reach? What are those colleges that you can't get any information from, or president's not sending you an email back, all of that kind of stuff. So I would like to hear from you all what those are. I don't know what the best practice would be for you all to get that information to me, but I really want to make sure that we are targeting the colleges and doing it effectively. I'm hoping that that last spreadsheet will help you all. That way we're not bombarding them, but we're, you know, really strategically going after the colleges that we need to get active. And I'm just going to kind of do D&E together, agenda items D&E. So how we can effectively use the interns. I want to hear from you all what the process looks like so far. Is it helping? You know, is there other ways that you're seeing? What are some of the things that are coming up that you wish, man, I wish I could get an intern to do this, or I wish that I had more time to do this, and then that way I can get the student interns to do it. I just kind of want to have that discussion. How can we effectively use these interns to make sure that they're, you know, maximizing your success? You know, they're the ones that are just doing the things in the background for you. So I want to make sure that they're, you know, being utilized effectively. And I do want to introduce actually our new student interns. So we have on this call, let's see, I have Sean from Region 6. Most of you all met Sean. Sean, you want to introduce yourself real fast?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Roskopf. My home college is Moore Park College. A lot of you visited recently. It's great to have you. And I decided, you know what? I just couldn't see him go. I had to like come along for the ride. So yeah, now I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. So yeah, most of you have met Sean when we went to Moore Park last month. Our other student intern is Nathan. Nathan couldn't make it today, but Nathan is the student intern for Region 9. So we'll be working with directors Ruiz Martinez. I got a kick out of doing that in an email the other day. I capitalized the S. And then our next one is Region 10 intern, and it's Michaela. Michaela, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Michaela Hutchinson. My home college is Miracosta, and I've really developed a love for advocacy for students this last year. So I felt the intern position was well suited. So excited to work with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, we have now 7 student interns. We're still looking for interns in the other 3 regions, 1, 7, and 5. So I'm still accepting applications for those so far. But yeah, I'd like to hear from you all. What is it? You know, what's working? What are some other information that you'd like to receive? What are some other things that we can get the interns to do now that we've gone, you know, about a month or so? Our activation, we're about at 50 delegates verified so far, 50 out of the 116, which is roughly where I said that we would be come this month. So I really want to get that number up to like the 80-90 area before Advocacy Academy. So would love to hear from you. What are some of your thoughts?
All right, I saw Region 3 first, so I'll go ahead and recognize Region 3.
Thank you, Chair. One of the things that my region that I'm starting to implement with not only my student intern, but also the regional officers is putting things on their calendars. I think that's very important. I get to look at their calendars, and by doing so, I'm able to see what days that work for them to schedule a meeting, and maybe for a SBA visit or anything above. And so that's been super effective in our region, and attending different other SBA meetings, visits, just in general, and just also just a more efficient way for us to just meet in general. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And if I can real quick, I'm going to show you all, if you don't know how to already, get other people's calendars. So this is Google Drive. Go down to my calendars. There's other calendars. If you click the plus, you can subscribe to someone's calendar. So for all of your interns, it would just be SI and then the region. All right, 8, 4, 10, 2, they're all here. All right. One of the other things that you will find is, oops, why did I do that? If you go back, you can see I have all of these SBA meeting calendars. That's because your region off or your student interns have put these together. So you can see, look, there's all the region 3 meetings. Here's all the region 4 meetings, all the region 6 meetings. The interns have gone through and done these for you. So if you don't have these on your calendar already, reach out to them because they can go into settings and sharings and add people to that list. So right now for region 3, the lad's on here, the rad's on here, the student intern, and myself. You can add all of your officers onto this calendar also. So add people, type them out, and then when you do the settings, you could have them just see the details. You could have them make changes to events, or they can make changes and manage the sharing. So it's up to you. I would recommend that each of you also put together calendar invites for your meetings. The advisors are starting to ask for that also now. So if you can do that, add all the SBA presidents, add all the delegates to the calendar, add your student interns, and add the advisors if you so choose. But I would recommend doing all of those. VPRA, Alexander, back to you. I think we have 2 more hands. I see Rad 10 and Rad 8. You're muted.
Rad 10. I saw your hand up first. You recognize?
Thank you very much, Chair. Hi, Stephen. Thank you very much again for presenting. I'm really liking this reminder of our duties, and there were some things because I'm working on my DA agenda right now. I'm like, oh, that's good. I should probably add that. So, one thing I was gonna say that Michaela, this is the first time I'm meeting her, so hi. I'm so sorry we haven't met, but very nice to meet you. One thing I am very excited to have in the region is a lot of the student governments meet on the same day, the same time. And I have to pick and choose which one I have to go to sometimes. And so I'm very excited to be able to have somebody who can help me attend those meetings. So, Michaela, that's something I would definitely be reaching out to for. Also, I did notice that, Stephen, you mentioned earlier some of the colleges that we have a problem with. One of the colleges in my region is Grossman College, who historically has been inactive. And I realized as I was reaching out to the student governments that they have blocked my email. And I think that was the previous administration. And they've blocked a couple of the executive officers' emails. And so that's one thing I hope with, I do believe the student interns get a new email. So I hope they haven't blocked that one. But that's something I want I wanted to just mention right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rad 10. And yeah, we'll look into that and see about getting those unblocked. I'll reach out to the advisor and see what we can do moving forward. And what Director Venegas just did, if you all can maybe just shoot me a quick email, text message, whatever it is, and just kind of list to me or even to your student intern, these are my troubled colleges or my problem colleges, just so that we can make those as our priority over the next 2 weeks. We really want to do that.
All right, and then for the minutes, for the record, I noticed that I think it happened a little bit time before, but I know that Rad 2 is no longer in the meeting. So if we just document it at 6:30 p.m., unless somebody noticed that she was gone before then.
Sounds about right, sure.
So, and then with that said, I know that Region 7, you had your hand up. Did you just still had a question because you were next in line?
Thank you, Chair. I think it was pretty much already answered. But the only thing is that right now, I guess, how is it that we regions that don't have interns would be able to, I guess, have student interns from somebody else, or who would we reach out to? Would we reach out to Mr. Kador? And then he could then let us know, okay, you can work with this person this week, maybe another person next week until that role is filled.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great question, Rad Gallegos. Until your region gets an intern, so 1, 5, and 7, until we finalize an intern for those regions. I have some student interns that are looking to do more work. They won't be able to do the things physically, like go onto a campus and be a part of different meetings and stuff like that, but they can still join via Zoom for different things for you. They can do a lot of administrative tasks. So if you're looking like, hey, I really need some more help here, some of my interns are looking for more hours and they would love to help out doing another region. So until we get somebody on, so just reach out to me 1, 5, and 7 if that's something that you're interested in. I know some of our interns are just like, yeah, I definitely want to. So like 1 would probably get 2. 5 can feed off of one of the Bay Area interns, or even region 6, because 6 isn't that far. And then what was the last one? 7, yeah, also 6, or even 9 or 10, 8, 9, or 10. So yeah, we can work something out.
All right, and I saw 8 was up next.
So one of the problems that we've actually been having when it comes to SBAs is the change in advisors. I know, Stefan, you emailed the advisors, and then sometimes it turns out that there has been a change in advisors, and we have to go and find that email. And like, what I did is, like, for one of the colleges, I had to go to the directory and find them. But one solution that I did find is actually going to the SBA meeting in person, and giving them my contact info, and having the new advisor give me their contact info. So that does help, but at the same time, there is some slight confusion when it comes to those SBA times. Sometimes they don't have the correct building. I know I was confused with some of with Fullerton colleges, but we eventually did find it with my student intern. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And if you do run into that, like what Director Venegas said, or like you're saying, an email's blocked or it returns back to you because that person no longer works there or something along those lines, make sure you let me know, because it could be that you just had outdated information, or that person did move on. Like we've had changeover in a bunch of different schools, and I have a master list of all the advisors. So if you're looking for some of your advisors, just what I ask is, if you are going to reach out to advisors, just let me know so I'm aware. Sometimes I get emails from advisors like, hey, is this your student? I got that the other day. Like, hey, is this one of your student leaders? Because I don't know, like, if I should respond to this email. And I was like, yeah, you're good. Like, so just make sure that you let me know, so that way or even CC me on the email. I know some of you rads have done that, because if they see my name, I have relationships with a lot of these advisors. So if they see my name, they'll be like, oh, okay, definitely part of the SSCCC. So yeah, let me know about all that information.
All right, and then I will recognize Region 4, patiently waiting.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So for Region 4, I know that we have a couple of campuses that haven't replied to us. Foothill, I sent out a message as recently as September 8th, and still there was no reply. Mission College, a candidate reached out to me, but they're not having any elections until Monday. So, hopefully that'll come to surface. So they're not a problem, but it's mainly Foothill. There was no response. Ohlone, there was no response. The San Jose City College, I actually attended one of their meetings via Zoom, and no one was present. And then the advisor wrote to me saying that there would be no Zoom meetings; there would only be in person. So, and then I asked them about the delegate. Again, there was no reply. So I do have some, about 3 colleges with no reply. So that's Foothill, Ohlone, and San Jose City. So, in addition to that, I was speaking with Joel the other day, the intern for our region, and specifically for Hartnell College, and I believe also Ohlone has a similar issue, um, experiencing regional disparity. Now, the ASG, I can speak for Hartnell College. I'm not sure the exact regional disparity issue at Ohlone, but the ASG at Hartnell is mostly active for people local to the main campus, largely neglecting to engage the other 2 campuses of students. And this was also verified by the dean of those campuses as well. And regarding Hartnell, I spoke with Joel about a solution there, but on a larger scale, having outreach activities for campuses in our regions facing inequitable representation in their SBA should definitely be addressed. I do like the idea of having more SBA visits with the interns if the officers can't do it themselves. I know that's one thing that we're going to discuss in our delegate assembly is actually having SBA visits, but what's really coming into focus for me is what I'm seeing is a potential regional disparity that even though we might be seeing some students represented, we're not seeing all of them represented, which could result into some some major major inequities. So yeah, there we go.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, I think the student interns can definitely help you out with that, with the regional disparity. So instead of just going to Hartnell campus, doing the satellite campuses also, handing out flyers, that kind of stuff. I've been sending flyers to the interns, so they have all that information for you, and you can get that from them. So if you're requesting flyers for your regions, things like that, just let me know so I can get that to your intern. For one of the things that I'm mulling over right now is a proposal.
Just one sec. I'm gonna need a point of personal privilege, so I'm gonna allow Diami to take over for just a brief minute.
Okay, thank you. So one of the things that I'm mulling over is a proposal that I might bring to you all at the board eventually on SSCCC sponsored events. I thought that it would be awesome. One of the things that we can do is like tell regions like, hey, we're going to be in your area during this time. Send us your best event proposals and we'll pay for it. Like we'll put on an event for you, but that gives us an excuse to go to that college campus and be the sponsors of their event, right? Like they want to get an event done, boom, we pay for like the food or whatever it is for that event. But now we have exposure on their campus. We're talking with their students. It's an SSCCC sponsored event. So it's almost like what we did with Moore Park, but on a larger scale and really getting more instead of just doing trainings. Like let's do an event with these students and see what that looks like. So that might be a proposal that I bring forward to the board, and really doing more competition style things that we can get students more involved in. I mean, when we were in elementary school, you used to do competitions just to get like pizza with your president or lunch with your what's it called, or a classroom party, right? So why aren't we doing that with our colleges? Why aren't we offering, hey, whoever can get the most legislative stories, we'll throw you an ASG party, and we just order them like 10 pizzas, right? Like why can't we do things like that? I think we definitely can. So I think if we get more creative and start doing things like that, it gives us more exposure, and we can do things for like even a satellite campus where they put in a proposal for an event and SSCCC comes in and sponsors that event and does it. So something that I've been mulling over and wanting to run by you all to see if that's something that we might want to do moving forward.
I see Region 7.
Thank you. I think that's a great idea. Now, my question to you, would that be coming out of our regional budget or general budget?
Yeah, that's still something that I'm looking at. I would like to take it out of the general budget so not to damper anything for your region. Like that way you can still have that potentially $10,000 each year to still use and somehow put it as a line item in our regular budget to just because I honestly see that as a like the Thursday before our board meetings, we put it out to the region that we're going to be in. Hey, we're going to be here Thursday. Submit your best event for that Thursday. And the whatever colleges submit an event, we choose one and we say, all right, that Thursday, this is the event that we're going to do. We're going to sponsor it. We get all the region officers that are in that area to go. The student interns, some of the staff, and we do that. And then we do the training on that Friday at the whatever college. And then we have our board meeting on that Saturday. So it's kind of teaming it up with our board meetings when we're in different locations. I just thought it might be a fun way to do it. And then, if it's a success, then maybe we just start doing it more often, and we do it, once or twice a month. We just choose a region and say, all right, submit an event proposal, and then we go through it that way. So something, like I said, it's still early on, but yeah, we would like to take it hopefully out of the main budget.
All right, any more questions? I don't see any hands. All right, with that said, I was looking at the agenda, and I noticed that would you had said something?
Can I just wrap it up? Because I did 2 items together. I just want to wrap up the item real quick.
Yeah.
So moving forward, please send me an email with your problem colleges if you have not, or a text message, anything like that. For your interns, and it's actually something that I didn't cover earlier, is your reports. You were supposed to be collecting reports for your delegate assembly meetings and for your executive meetings. So that way they're hyperlinked on the agenda when they go out. So that means you or your vice chair, somebody needs to send out an email saying, hey, reports are due by this date. That's what Deja does for the board, right? So we need you to do that also. So you need to choose, hey, and give them a reasonable time, like, hey, just so you know, reports are due on this date. So make sure that your delegates are doing that, because for a delegate to receive their stipend, they have to submit a report. So you have to tell them when to submit that report. I saw some agendas go out that just said all the delegates didn't fill out a report. Well, they didn't fill out a report because you didn't tell them they had to, right? So we want to make sure that that's happening. For your executive meetings, I have told all of my interns that they are going to submit a report to you also, to you, the RAD. So when you send out, hey, to all of your executive officers, hey, I need your report for the executive meeting, please send an email to your student intern also, because I want them submitting reports to that executive committee meeting, and they are planning on attending it just as long as it fits in their schedule. So send them the invite also, because I want you to know what are they doing in that region. You can ask them questions even in the meeting if you'd like. But they're planning on being there. So make sure that that's happening. So send out those invites, send out calendar invites. It all helps the delegates make sure that they're going to be there and all that kind of stuff. So.
All right, and RAD 4.
So we should be collecting reports on both executive meetings and delegate assembly meetings. And then my second question is, do we really want to, is it really emphasized that we need to have the delegates submit a report for their first delegate assembly meeting?
Yeah, so yes, you do need to have it for executive and for delegate assemblies. Now, officers can use the same report. They probably just add a couple things to it, right? It doesn't have to be a whole brand new report. You don't have to do it for the first delegate assembly meeting. I saw some of you, it's actually an item on your agenda, what a report looks like, how to do it, that kind of stuff, because there is a report template also in the Google Drive that they can go and look at. And utilize. So, but it has to be a physical report for it to count for their stipend moving forward. All right. So I know we do the additional oral reports, but they have to have a regular or a physical report that's hyperlinked to the agenda to be able to constitute for their stipend.
I know this came from I believe it's a public member. I'm not sure who this is, but I think that this would be a quick question. I think needs to be clarification anyways. Are the reports accessible to the public?
Yeah, reports are. They should be hyperlinked to the agendas. They should be in your agenda materials.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then I had a question too. I ran some, as vice chair last year, I ran into some resistance with this with the executive board. Now, if I was allowing them to turn in their reports up to midnight the next day after we had our meeting.
Uh-huh.
Is that something that if the region chooses to have that practice?
So there's nothing that states like when a report is due, so that is up to you, but they need to have a report every month. I would recommend though having the report before your delegate assembly meeting, right? Because that way, if they send it to you the day after, how is the rest of the region going to be able to access that, right? They just won't. So I would recommend you having that hyperlinked on the agenda before the agenda goes out, and then that way they know, hey, I need to get my report in before each of these meetings.
Any other questions? I see a hand from 7.
Thank you, Chair. I mean, this is something that we want to kind of put a link to our agenda, which means we need it, since we have to provide it by 96 hours, they need to give it to us 24 hours before that. So you're looking, so that everything could already be set, ready to go by the time we send it to you within the 96 hours. And then that way it can be posted after, not like the day before. Hey, by the way, here's my report.
Exactly.
So yeah, that would be the time frame you'd want it, correct?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure about that as well.
Yeah, it would really would be up to you whenever you think that you'll have enough time to hyperlink them. But yeah, if you have to get your agenda 96 hours in advance, you want to at least give them like 2 or 3 days to be able to submit a report to you, right? So you're looking at least a week before sending out an email that says, hey, I need your reports by this date. And they would send them to you. They do not send them to reports at SSCCC.org. That is only for the RADs and the LADs for you to utilize for the board of directors meetings. If that changes, I'll let you know. But for now, we just want them hyperlinked on your agendas. So they send them to you. And it doesn't even have to be you that does it, right? Like you can get your vice chair to do it or your communications officer. And that's just one of their duties, right? They're looking for other things to do. You could just say, hey, our meetings are this day every month. So I need you to send out an email by this day every month asking for reports. I'm just letting you know that's something that the region needs to do. So whether you or one of your officers does it, it's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I saw another hand, but it disappeared and I didn't get to write it down. So is there another question?
I think it was RAD4, and I think I answered the question because it was in the chat.
All right. Any other questions? We got 10 minutes left of the meeting. So I don't know if we want to talk about this or if we want to just jump into the round table. All right. And let me double check real quick. Don't see no hands. All right. We'll go ahead and move to, before we do that, Region 7, did you want to give us an update? I think I'm going to take this off the agenda as well as a standing item after this meeting. But do you want to give us a little brief update in regards to student rep fee in your guys' region?
So it looks like, if just to let you know, first off, I'd like to thank everybody who did attend, including yourself. We actually did attend, of course, our meeting over at LACCD, where we were able to present during SAC. And of course, a big impression, the fact that we pretty much showed up with a small football team. I mean, it was great. And it was the information that we were able to give out there was also helping us let everybody know, this is who we are, this is what we are, and this is what we do. It was brought to my attention after that, I guess, LACCD had dual intentions on this. They also were pretty much trying to see and moving forward with their connections and ties with SSCCC, which is something I need to talk with Mr. Kadur, yourself, and Dr. Adams after. So yeah, but no, as of at this point, I did hear that they actually already did collect from reserves from City College. So the president of City College actually went into their student reserves for their ASU and actually took the student rep fee out of them. I did report that already to Dr. Adams and Mr. Kador. So what action will be taken from there, of course, I guess will be brought up later. They are currently still haven't paid. So it's something that I know that Dr. Adams says that she would be following up on, and getting back to us all to see what's going on in that perspective. I do know at this point, it is only LACCD who we are having this issue with. So we're still trying to make sure and let SBAs know, you know, don't pay this fee. It shouldn't be coming out of your reserve because of the fact that this is something that is actually an assembly bill and is law and should be collected as per the wording by the school from the students for student representation fee, not from students to pay for other students. Doesn't make sense, especially with operating budgets being so low. And that is my report.
All right. Any questions in regards to this? Anybody?
Yeah, question.
Yeah, I see a red 9.
Yeah, hey, question to actually for Steven here, who might be a little bit more qualified to answer this. What was the college that you mentioned that they actually went in and they took those funds out of? Gallegos?
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I was trying to see what Stephen you were talking about. No, but that's fine. Thank you. Chair, if I may.
That's good.
Thank you. So they actually did take the funds out of City College, and I believe that was an agreement that wasn't even made by, I believe, the student union. It was actually by the college president and their fiscal department. So that was something that I believe there actually is unlawful, but I'm going to let Julie state that. I'm not going to make any statements without knowing for sure. But yeah, they did actually take those funds directly out of their reserves. So out of the reserves.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's something that was taken out from the reserve funds without approval from the ASU board.
And then just a follow-up. So their student union, I don't know if they have a senate or a board of directors, but they didn't vote for those funds to be transferred, correct?
So to my knowledge, they were not. So I am doing follow-up on that just to make sure I have all the information. But from what I heard from one of the students that was actually a delegate from last year, they did not have a say in it.
Oh wow. And that occurred through the college itself, right? Like through their budget committee, for example, when he just voted on that.
There actually was no committee put together. This was a decision made by, from what I understood, the college president and fiscal.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. That's something.
I noticed for a brief second that the lad from Six had their hand up. I don't know if you had some input that you wanted to, or a question.
Hi, just to clarify, I had like a clapping emoji, so it looks like a hands up, but it was actually clapping. But thank you for checking in.
Okay. And I saw Rad 10 come up first, so Leo.
So thank you, Chair. I had just a point of a clarification for RAD 7. You say City College. I have a City College in my region, so it's LA City College, right?
That is correct. It is Los
All right,
Angeles
great.
City College
Los
within
Angeles.
LACCD in Region 7, sir.
Just a point of clarification. I was thinking here San Diego City College had their funds removed. All right, thank you very much.
All right. Any questions, comments?
Just a quick comment, actually.
What?
Just for Rad 7, yeah, feel free to reach out if you ever need extra additional support. Just that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. With that said, we have 4 minutes left. Is there anybody who wants to give a real fast report on something? Roundtable?
BPRA.
Yes, go ahead, Rad 1.
Thank you. I just wanted to report that the ASB at Mendocino College is fully. We have a full Senate. We are operating. We are in the process of selecting our delegate and reaching out. And I also wanted to share that we had a parliamentary procedure training today to help our ASB become more functional. And And oh, and there's a kind of a renaissance of clubs going on in our little community. So there's 2 new women's clubs, a chemistry club, lots of clubs after kind of a very dry spell of no clubs for the last couple of years. So we're making some good progress on a lot of good student engagement, and yeah, just moving forward and getting our getting more candidates together for our board.
All right, thank you, Rad One. Anybody else wants to see 7? You have your hand up.
Chair, I heard Renaissance. Does that mean we can show up in like full metal armor over there? Because that'll work. I'll be there. I'll do it.
Swords and stuff. Rad One, you had a question directed at you. You are muted.
Sorry about that. You know what? If anybody wants to come to our campus, you are welcome. I know it's a little out of the way, but we would love to host some people. And if you wanted to do a Ren Fair, heck yeah, we would make that the theme.
All right, awesome. I say that we all show up. It's a big SSCCC trip, and all the region will allocate funds to go, and we'll. Steven's gonna drive.
Yeah, just enjoy the 2 to 3 hour commute.
So, all right, I saw Rad 4.
Yeah, just a quick question. Just I thought of while we were here. There's times where I don't have internet connection, and you know, I'd like to be able to access the live binder shelf for our policies. And is there a way that, you know, there's a PDF copy of the policies and procedures that we could like reference while not, you know, connected to the internet? Oh yeah, and one more thing is I potentially might have an idea of how we could possibly improve the sound quality at our BOD meetings, because I noticed that some of the times we had to have students get up and kind of move around, and so I just had a thought of possibly putting it like on the next RAC agenda.
Interesting. Just formally email and address it to the SSCCC president. Just SSCCC president .org and CC Julie Adams on it, and maybe Stephen as well.
And then Chair.
Yes.
Can I answer his other question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go onto our live binder, these are like all of our live binders, right? On each of our live binders, you can download the PDF version for any of them. So there's no way that we can like, I mean, we haven't allocated any funds to be able to create like an actual physical binder yet. But you would just, whatever policies that you want, you can go and download all of them in PDF form so that you can work with them offline.
Right. Yeah. Can I? Is it Chair? Is it okay if I?
Yeah,
respond?
go ahead.
Yeah, I did see that. And then as I was going through, there was like a lot of them, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to sit here and like download every single one of these." So I was just curious if there was like a PDF of these somewhere, and you know, I could just like, you know, download them in one swoop instead of one at a time. You know.
I'll see if I can find something like that within the software itself, but I don't think that option is available for us. But I'll take a look and I'll get back to you.
But anybody else? Anything?
Yeah, Chair.
Yeah. Oh, that 9.
Yeah, just really quick. I was wondering if it would be possible, just for future context, for people that are in the Zoom meeting, if for example, like some of the regional affairs directors or some of the student interns to just have their name as well on displayed on their Zoom, just so that we could know their names. I think that'd be a little bit helpful.
Yeah, I agree. If you could have your title and then your name as well. I noticed I messed up on that today. Just says my name. All right. Anything else from anybody? All right. With that said, then we will go ahead and adjourn. Wait,
Sorry, Chair.
sorry about that. I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Actually, it's kind of a Stefan type of question. When it comes to internal committees within our region, our delegates don't have to be the only ones that are members of these committees, correct?
VPRA, can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so any student can be a part of the committees, any student within your region, so that's totally fine. You can make them actually voting members. I'll send out the policy that states that. You do have to have, I believe, 2 delegates though on the committee itself, and I think that's what the policy states. You have to have 2 delegates, and the rest can be students. I think there's a quota. I think you can't have more than 7, I believe. I'm trying to remember the policy off the top of my head, but one of the recommendations that I gave to one of the other ads is you should do the appointments for those and then have them, because what I've seen before is no one has, like, you get to the internal committee appointments and you go, okay, delegate, what committee do you want to be on? And then it's going to be a long process. Some of them are going to be like, oh, I don't even know what committee, can I get back to you? Instead of doing that, already have it filled out and then go into there. And does anyone want to move to a different committee? Right. So that's kind of what we do at the statewide level with the president. She puts you on a bunch of different committees and then we like moved it around afterwards. I recommend you doing that instead of going in your meeting and saying, okay, so and so delegate, which one do you want to be on? So and so delegate. It's going to be a lot longer and some of them might not even sign up. And that was just going to be an awkward silence afterwards. So just recommend doing that. But when I send out the student intern flyer, I'll send out the one that talks about students being on a committee. Or the folder, sorry.
Chair, can I ask a follow-up question?
Yes, go ahead.
One of my delegates was interested in 2 committees. Are they allowed to join 2 internal committees?
Yes, they can.
Okay, thank you.
Keep in mind if they miss both of them, though, that's double stipend.
Okay, I will tell that to them. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and you want to make sure to the whole quorum aspect. So if they're in 2, they might be like, oh, I can miss out on 1. Well, that might just skew your quorum, right? Like if they're consistently missing 1, so you want to take them off the active roster if they end up doing that.
I'll report that back to them.
All
Thank you.
All right, anything else? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 7:05. Also, Stephen, can you send me the link to the verification form? I can't find the old verification form.
Okay. Yeah, and just so you all know, we do a new delegate verification form every year. Some of the advisors or some of our students have gone back and used an old one. So make sure that they're getting the right link, and I'll put it in the that email. I'm actually crafting it right now. So you're going to get the student intern folder, the policy on non-delegates serving on committees, and then I'll send out the delegate verification form. All right, those 3 things.
So it would be the one that I'm looking for is the one that for our verification for the executive board members in the RAD.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I
whatever that is. Yeah, whatever that form is, send that one to me.
Yeah, you're talking about the re-verification, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I can send that too.
All right. Well, with that said, yeah, everybody can leave if they want, or you can hang around, talk.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'm
So
out.
is this where the after party's at now? Since okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Meeting's over, so the after party's at now, right? I see that
right.
we can probably party over there where VPRA is at. It's got a lot of space.
Yeah. Why not? I have a swimming pool too. It's been kind of cold, so the water's probably cold, but you want to come jump in some cold water too?
Oh, no, I was talking about those tables and chairs right behind you.
Yeah, why not? You know, actually, the Supreme Court.
Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Take care, everybody.
And then Robert, I'll send you the minutes.
Pleasure seeing you all.
Okay, yeah, just email it to me. Yeah.
All right. So have a good one.
I had a quick question, Robert.
Go ahead.